This fat tire electric bike has an anti-theft system with GPS.
Find my bike. GPS sensor on this thing will tell you where your bike is.
The 48 volt 20 amp hour battery pack is made up of Samsung cells and UL certified. And paired up to the torque sensor, they claim we can get 90 miles of range on a single charge. You can see the current list price of the Freedare Eden linked below this video. So this bike actually comes in a bigger box than normal. Comes with a rack, pedals, and a little velvet bag. We'll take a look. Oh, that's actually a front rack because the rear rack's on here. And this is the step through, but they do make this bike in a high step, and there are other colors available. Company website says the bike weighs 81 pounds and a max rider weight of 330 pounds. What kind of tires are we working with? Front wheel has a 160 millimeter Tektro rotor, Kenda tires with knobby tread. Looks like it will have a through axle. Let's verify. Controls, headlight, Freedare, manual. Charger is 3 amps. Battery is frame integrated and large. Listed as 48 volt, 20 amp hour, 960 watt hours of energy, 20 amp hours divided by a 3 amp charge rate. So it'd take about 6.6 hours to charge from completely empty to completely full, but we're sitting at about 3/4. Of course, you can charge the battery off the bike or on the bike through this port. And one thing catching my attention is this thing back here. Sometimes I'll see a controller box back here. This looks too small to be a controller. I think it might be a GPS system. Might be the anti-theft thing. This bike is running Tektro hydraulic brakes, same size 160 millimeter rotor on the rear, and of course a 750 watt Bafang hub drive. There's the numbers on the other side. Looks like there is a light on the rear. Don't think it's gonna be wired into the battery. No, it has its own battery. Here's what the rear rack looks like. Here's the seat we get. Cell Royal, little groove down the middle. Quick release for easy adjustments. Front suspension. You can adjust whether you want it firm or soft on the right stanchion. The warning label is baked into the paint here. That is not a sticker. Handlebars are definitely a relaxed riding position. First time seeing these round grips. They are ergonomic and held in place by a bolt, so they will not rotate on you. These Tektro brakes are nothing new. I like them. We'll see how they work with those 160 millimeter rotors. Possibly a different display here. We'll see here soon. Right side is where you will find the thumb throttle, as well as our typical 7-speed Shimano shifter. Handlebars will sweep us back closer to the seat, making for a more upright, comfortable, cruising, chill riding position. Kind of wondering what this thing is. Looks like a USB port hanging out of here. Here's a peek at the through axle. Front wheel is nice and secure. Here's the pedals we get. There are little rubber grippy things right here. Might be about 5% less painful if you happen to catch one of these to the shin, but also provides grip. Up front, we get these 4 mounting points, and they give us this rack to throw up there, which weighs 2 pounds, 1 ounce. So if the rear rack isn't enough for you, we can throw this one up front. Trade-off is a little extra weight. So let's pop that battery on there. We'll fire it up in just a moment, but first let me show you what a 6'5" dude looks like getting on this bike when it's on minimum seat height. So here's what my pedal stroke would look like with the seat on minimum height. Tell already it's gonna be a nice upright riding position. Let's bump this seat height onto maximum. Seat post diameter is 30.4 millimeters if you want to throw on a different suspension seat post. Step through frame makes it easy to mount this bike. So here's what my pedal stroke looks like at 6'5", inseam 34. Still in upright riding position. Whoa. It is an 81 pound bike. Feel the weight a little bit, a lot of it. So let's get this display fired up. I believe I saw somewhere that we need to put the battery on the charger for about 5 seconds before it'll turn on. So there we go, we have it on the charger. Sometimes they'll ship these batteries in like a dormant state to prevent them from draining down to 0. Sometimes they'll turn on when plugged in, sometimes not. This one's not. However, unplug. Power on. Boom! There we go. Freedare. So it is a color display. Shows us our battery percentage up here. Looks like we get power and our speed, trip, odometer, max speed, average speed, time. Pretty nice looking display. Let's turn on the light. Oh yeah, it dims the display. Forgot to tell you it does come with plastic fenders, and here's the light. Pretty typical light. There will be no brake light or anything. You flip that on with a switch. We get 3 levels of pedal assist. If we hold plus and minus, it will bring us into the advanced settings. Display settings, advanced settings. Let's give it a rip, but first, let me flip this bike around. The 7 gears are Shimano. It's a tourney derailleur protected by a derailleur guard in case you knock the bike over. It won't mess this thing up. Here's the chain ring up front. So let's throw it on pedal assist 3. Full throttle, ready, go. spins right up to 27.5 or cuts us off. So there is an app for this bike. Let's download it. Bluetooth, okay. We are on a full charge now and we'll register. And so all you do is click on this little plus button here and it starts looking for your stuff. Looks like it found it. Oh, so you can lock and unlock it here. The GPS found the bike right on the map, and it shows the battery is 100% now. So I guess it's locked. What happens if it's locked? Oh, so it turned the bike off, and if I try to turn it on, it will turn on. And also, it works. So if I press lock, it turns the bike off, but I could just turn it back on with that button. Oh yeah, it works. Looks like there's a compass built into the app as well. And it appears that there are different tuning modes here. We can do sports mode, normal mode, eco mode. Try sports mode. Didn't see any changes there. Probably the coolest part about this app is it has the GPS feature, so I guess you can locate your bike anywhere, you know, on the map here. It works. Let's go ride this bike. All right, dudes, let's check out the Freedare Eden. We'll start up the Strava so we can track our official range on this 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery pack. Curious how this seat's gonna feel. I usually like flat ones the best. Of course, we are on a full charge, so let's roll out. Whoa. Rolling into the elevator here, I am noticing there's an automatic headlight that just turned on when I rolled in here. So the very first test we're gonna do is running up the 20% grade. I weigh 200 pounds. I love these step-through frames because they're so easy to get on. We'll put it on pedal assist 3. I think we might be on sport mode. I'm not sure. Full throttle, no pedaling. Let's see what it does here. So it kind of ramps on the power. I don't know if we're on sport mode or not. It's backing off the power. Ugh. We should break out the app. Oh yeah, so they have current limits set for different modes here. So sports tuning will let us have 25 amps, normal is 20 amps, eco is 15 amps. Interesting. Requesting sport tuning, please. Okay, I think we're on sport mode now. Let's give it a try, see if there's any difference in performance. Full throttle from a dig. I feel like it actually did give a little more power there, but it is backing off the power. So let's try pedaling just a little bit. So starting at the base here, let's go ahead and just pedal just a little bit, and I'll mash on the throttle. It does have a torque sensor, but yeah, I mean, we can get up the hill pedaling just very minimally. So I don't really want you to think that just because this bike didn't make it up the hill, it's necessarily a weak bike. That's a pretty steep hill. Oh, it's a little chilly out here today. I guess it is the middle of December. So can we see the screen with the polarized lenses? Can you see it? Let me see if I can see it. Oh, nope, filters it out completely. Pretty typical, really. I can turn my head sideways and then, you know, as long as you don't have polarized lenses, you'll be cool. So if you put it on pedal assist 0, obviously it's not going to help you pedaling at all. If you press the throttle, nothing happens either. Let's go ahead and throw it on 1. So it is a torque sensor. It will give you power based on, you know, your pedaling input. So on pedal assist 1, I can just like, let me take my shades off so I can see what's going on here. So I am noticing the screen is more kind of on the dim side. I can see it just fine, but it's just not like super vibrant for me to see. And then the torque sensor, let's feel out the torque sensor. So on pedal assist 1, if I just like give it just a little bit, like it seems like an all right torque sensor. We'll feel it out more as the day goes on. And then on pedal assist 1, let's go ahead and ramp up our effort here. So I'm putting in a pretty decent effort now. And on pedal assist 1, we are in top gear 7, cruising at 16 miles an hour. And let me put in a little bit more pedal assistance here. So it seems like this is all it's really gonna help me on pedal assist 1. Now, since it is a torque sensor, let's go ahead and crank it down here a little bit, down to about 7 miles an hour. Now we're on pedal assist 2. And so the theory here on pedal assist 2 is still gonna give you power based on how hard you're pressing on the pedals, but it will be, you know, just less effort to get more power. And that's exactly what it feels like. Now I'm pressing pretty decent effort here, hitting 20 and about 25 already. And this rack on the front can be a little bit trippy because it is mounted to the frame, not the handlebars, which is excellent because you don't want that weight on your handlebars rotating with the steering column. It's built into the frame, but it can be a little bit trippy, you know, like when you're at a slow speed, you turn your wheel, the rack stays forward. So let's try pedal assist 3. This is the top pedal assist, and sometimes these torque sensors can be a little bit twitchy if it's a bad one at like really low speeds pedaling, just barely pressing on the pedals. This one actually feels pretty good, man. Like, does not feel twitchy. And you know, I'm on the top pedal assist and I can just feel it. You guys probably can't even see the screen because it's not the brightest, but it's giving just a little bit of power. Now let me press on that just a little bit more. I mean, I'm giving it like a pretty minimal effort now. Now ramping up my power, it's ramping up proportionally to how I'm ramping up, and we'll feel this torque sensor out more
as we go on our 18-mile ride today. We do have the LCD luminance set on 100%, so that is the brightest the screen will go. Oh yeah, you can turn it way down and be way dimmer. So let's crank it up to the maximum pedal assist of 3, get out here in traffic, and see how it feels at a little bit higher speeds here. Just using the torque sensor, this thing is taking us up to 28.3, where I could feel it completely just remove power no matter how hard I'm pressing on the pedal. So it is a Class 3 electric bike. That is where it should stop helping us at 28. But what about throttle? The Class 3 electric bike should technically stop at 20 miles an hour on throttle only. We are cruising at maximum speed of 27.7 right now, which is awesome. What's gas prices today? $5.09. Whoa, that car sounds beastly. Let's go ahead and do a 0 to 20 acceleration test. Got the GPS in my left hand. Let these bikes get a little bit ahead because we are gonna be cooking. I weigh 200 pounds, ready to go. So ease it on that power, nice gentle acceleration from a stop. 5 miles an hour, 10, 13, 15, 17, 19, 20. So GPS will lag just a little bit. It's a smooth accelerating, pretty powerful electric bicycle. Oh, let's not get ran over by the Rolls Royce. So I can tell that this bike is kind of optimized for range rather than like a thrill-seeking kind of adventure. If you want to have good range and have like a pleasant accelerating bike, this might be a good option for you. Some of these bikes that accelerate like really fast, when you smash that throttle, it will like really kind of throw you back. This one doesn't really do that. That dude's riding well. That is like a 5,000 watt bike. All right, they're waving us through. Hopefully we don't get hit by a tree bridge. Yeah, he was waving me on, right? I'm pretty confident that that speedometer is correct, but let's just turn it around here, get a high speed run, slight tailwind, see what kind of, if the GPS is accurate. 20, throttle only, 25, 26, 27, 28, and yeah, speedometer is accurate and it'll stop us dead, 28. If we reduce it down to pedal assist 1, it'll still let us go 28. So to come out on the riding position of this bike, it is definitely like a very upright, relaxed, the handlebars like sweep back. It's like a very chill bike to be on. In general, the cockpit on this bike feels kind of on the shorter end, and the size of this fat tire e-bike somehow, you know, despite it being a large bike, feels kind of like a smaller, big e-bike, if that makes any sense at all. Some of these things are like absolute freaking units. This one, I'm not saying it's not a unit, but it's less of a unit than some of them I've been on. And based on my testing so far, I don't think we're gonna be able to make it up this hill in the sand here, but let's give it a try. Full throttle. Oh, actually, yeah, with a little bit of rollout, we actually totally could do that. And this is a hardtail e-bike, so you know, it is that more relaxed riding position, putting you back on the rear seat. So if you're looking for the most ultra comfort, you might want to grab yourself a suspension seat post, because although the front suspension definitely does help, front suspension is always appreciated. The more upright you're sitting, the more of your weight's going to be sitting on the rear of the bike. Basically, the more you're sitting back, the more beneficial rear suspension will be in terms of comfort. If you're just cruising around on the street though, with these 4-inch wide, 26-inch tall fat tires, you'll be cruising in comfort. Dude is vibing. Well, let's crank it down a couple of gears here and get out on the sand. I don't think this is gonna be like a #1 sand riding kind of bike, but the tires are definitely capable of getting out here because they are 4 inches wide, 26 inches tall. And throttle only, I'm not pedaling this thing at all yet, but I can tell I'm gonna have to start putting in some effort of my own. And yeah, we're kind of running out of steam here, so probably wouldn't buy this bike to do some beach sand riding. It's always fun to try and just see though, you know what I mean? Again, not that it's a weak bike, but because it definitely is not, it's just kind of set up so that the controller kind of stops delivering that high power once you start getting to slower speeds, and that's probably to help preserve the longevity of the motor. If you're just funneling a bunch of power into these things when they're going really slow, you might burn up the motor, or at least reduce the life of it. So I had a little bit of struggle on the 20% grade. We're gonna go ahead and run it up to the top of that hill. It's quite a bit less steep at only 12% grade, but it is 85 feet of elevation gain. We'll see what kind of toll it takes on the battery, so we can check our final range here shortly, and we'll try the brakes on the way down. Because they are 160mm rotors, they are hydraulic though. So on pedal assist 3, the top pedal assist on this bike, we'll do throttle only rolling into this hill. See how it does on the power. I'm gonna take my shades off so I can see the display. Rolling in here one-handed. We're making it up just fine. It is giving full power. It says it's giving full power anyway. I need both brakes going around that turn. Whip it around here and full throttle, so it is giving almost full power, 7 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour. Once we get about 9 miles an hour, it gives us full power. 12, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 19.9, 20, and throttling all the way up, no pedaling up the California incline. We hit about 20 miles an hour. So whipping around here immediately, floor it to the bottom of the hill, then try the brakes. So they are Tektro hydraulic brakes, 160 millimeter rotors. You gotta give them a little bit more of a pull than a typical 180, but they definitely will bring this 81.5 pound bike to a halt. So let's say you need to come to a stop quickly from about 20, slam on those brakes. They got your back, dude. 180 millimeters is definitely a little more powerful, but these Tektros, they're fine. After about 10.2 miles of riding, we're sitting at 72%. Let's head on home, see what the final range is. Oh, and I've pretty much been throttling the whole way. Let's try the torque sensor out a bit on the way home. So I gotta say, the seat on this bike is not really my favorite. It's fine. I prefer a flat one. These little dimples, they kind of come up on my sit bones. Seat is always a personal preference kind of thing, though. Let's do a quick little test on the GPS here. Find my bike. Yes, success. So GPS sensor on this thing will tell you where your bike is in case, I don't know, maybe it gets stolen or you lose it. Track it down. And the bike lock, is it gonna lock? Oh yeah, I locked. Let's do the unlock. Will it turn it on? Oh yeah, it turns the bike on too. Interesting. Okay. Well, when you press lock, I mean, I can still turn it on when the bike's locked and walk away with it. And even though it's locked, you can still hop on it and it still works. So, I mean, even if it did have like some sort of alarm, I wouldn't rely on that as, you know, being any sort of safety for your bike not getting stolen. What do we got here? Test. Oh, then there's some other stuff in here that will like let you test like your brake levers or the controllers, and it's like it just says everything is fine because everything is working good. Speed sensor. Oh, you have to rotate the wheel for that to work. Pedal sensor. Everything is fine. I've never seen that on a bike before. Then they also have like maps. You can like import a route. Import route book. Coming soon. So it might not be the fastest accelerator or strongest hill climber, but once you get this thing up to speed, it likes to go fast, man, and I've been relying on the throttle all day today. Although that torque sensor is pretty good. Let's use it a little bit. Oh yeah, dude. All right, dudes, just rolling up on 17 miles, hour, 23 minutes of ride time today, 12.36 miles per hour average speed. GoPro battery died, but the battery on this bike did not die. We are showing 56%. So it's pretty much relying on thumb throttle like all day long. If I was actually pedaling, you know, I think I could do probably 45, 55 miles of range on this. You know, it is a 20 amp hour battery pack. So generally that's about as big of a battery pack, a single battery you're gonna get on a fat tire electric bike. MSRP on this bike is $1,800, but it is on a pretty significant discount right now, and the link below this video in the description box. So if you guys do wanna buy one of these electric bikes, if you did buy through the link below the video in the description box, just click on that link. It'll take you over to the official company website. It would help support my reviews here on Tail Heavy TV, and of course, I greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, watch this video next. I'll catch you over there.